Welcome to Stream Secrets, where I spill the truth about making streaming a career, from gear to growth to boundaries and burnout. I'm Knightenator, and I've been streaming games for 10 years now, and I often get asked what it's worth spending the money on when you're setting up your stream versus what not to buy. We're going to start with what not to buy, because it is so easy to fall into the hole of buying all of the gear, and frankly, you don't need it. Starting off with buying a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. It can be super tempting to want the most beautiful camera that you can possibly get, but frankly they can be thousands of pounds. Also, when you're buying one of those cameras, you're also going to need a few other pieces of technology to go with it. You're going to need some sort of capture device like a cam link to connect it to your computer. You're going to need a battery that's plugged in all the time. There's a whole load of things that you're going to need. You might need a new lens. It's a lot of expense very early on. This is a perfect thing to upgrade to a few years down the line, but at the start this is just a little much. 2 is an audio interface with an XLR setup. Again, this is something that I've seen a lot of streamers do really early on, where they go for a really expensive XLR microphone. Before you know it, you've got an XLR microphone that costs you maybe £700, you've got a cloud booster that costs you another £100, and you've got an audio interface that costs you, and again, probably another £300. It's overkill. You can get an amazing quality microphone sound at a fraction of the cost. And 3 is a second PC. If your PC is struggling when you're trying to stream and game at the same time, then there are ways around this. Trust me, a lot of it comes down to trial and error and balancing your settings. But one thing you can do is simply just get a capture device and use a console. So the gaming is done on the console, and then all of the power of the PC goes to your streaming. Now let's talk about what I would personally buy if I was an up-and-coming streamer now that I do think is worth the money. I said before not to get an audio interface and XLR setup, and I stand by that. However, I would recommend the Elgato Wave 3 as a fantastic plug-and-play microphone. This also comes with inbuilt software, which is just fantastic as an audio interface. The Wavelink software is amazing, and it comes as standard with the microphone. Next up, I'd go for a clear webcam. This is instead of a DSLR or mirrorless camera. You can get really affordable webcams for £100 or around that, which again, plug and play, and they just do the job. It's more than you need at the start. And thirdly, I would go for a light to put behind the camera. If I turn my light off now and then turn it back on, you can tell it looks a million times better. When I first started out, I used an IKEA light that was about £5. And you know what? It did the job. When I was a student streaming, it was fine. However, again, I would recommend going and taking a look at some of the Elgato lights because they are fantastic. All you need is one of those when you're starting out, just one of those, and it will improve the quality of any camera. And that's your stream secret for today. If this helped, then give this a little like, give it a follow, and also pop a comment down below on what stream question you would like me to answer next.